Europe's next top aggressor. At the end of 1919, Mussolini lost in the election to a socialist and then soon after arrested due to treason charges.
In 1919, it sucked losing the election and getting arrested, but now that I have a seat in Parliament, I'm going to change things up.
In 1921, King Victor Emmanuel III dissolved Parliament. Mussolini won a seat as a deputy in Parliament, and as this seat, he made it so fascists were okay, communists were arrested, and socialists were expelled from Parliament. In 1922, fascist squads seized Italian cities and burned down communist and socialist offices. Later that year, they threatened to take Rome with violence if not handed over the government. Eventually, Mussolini was granted the government and he changed the government, making it a fascist government. His first act was to demand special emergency powers, allowing him to rig elections in fascist favors. The next year, police rounded up socialists and restricted their publishing abilities. Then in 1926, fascist youth groups were created. And then communists in Parliament were arrested and socialists were expelled, and total censorship of the media was enacted. Europe's next top aggressor.
Hitler returns to Munich in 1919 and he joined the German Workers' Party, which aimed to unite the interests of the working class with a strong German nationalism. His oratory and charismatic skills helped him increase ranks within the party. On November 8, 1923, members of the SA went to a beer hall where another right-wing leader was addressing the crowd. Hitler, who had a revolver at the time, proclaimed the beginning of the National Revolution. He led a march to Munich, where he got in a gun battle with police, and he was later arrested. While in prison for only 9 months, Hitler wrote his book Mein Kampf, which would be later published in 1925. The book explained Hitler's anti-Semitic and nationalistic views. Hitler believed the Aryan race was pure and was the best race, and at the bottom he believed the Jews were the worst race. Over the next years, Hitler was reorganizing the Nazi Party, created the Hitler Youth, and along with it came the SS, which was more reliable than the SA. Members of the SS wore black uniforms, swore a personal oath of loyalty to Hitler, and was a group of around 200 men that would dominate Germany and terrorize the rest of Europe. In 1932, Hitler ran against Paul von Hindenburg for president. He lost, but Hindenburg named Hitler his chancellor. After a devastating fire at Germany's parliament building, Hitler was given an excuse to step up the political oppression and violence against his opponents. On March 23, 1933, he was given full powers of the government. In 1933, Germany was diplomatically isolated with a weak military and hostile neighbors. He addressed Germany's support for disarmament and peace, but behind this domination and expansion continued to rise in his plans. On June 22, 1934, Hitler had members of his SS kill political opponents throughout the night. Due to his religious and racial beliefs, he persecuted Jews violently throughout Germany.
Europe's next top aggressor.
From 1912 to 1926, Francisco Franco distinguished himself with fearlessness, professionalism, and ruthlessness, and throughout this time, he increasingly rose the ranks in the military. In 1928, he became general of the military academy in Zaragoza. Thank you, Nazis, Germany and Hitler, and Fascist Italy and Mussolini for helping winning the Spanish Civil War. On July 18, 1936, Franco announced the Nationalist Manifesto as the uprising began in northwest of Spain. The next day, he flew to Morocco to take control of the troops, and he soon gained the support of Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. By the end of 1937, he conquered the Basque Islands. In January 1939, the Republican stronghold of Barcelona fell to the Nationalists. On April 1, 1939, he received an unconditional surrender of the Spanish Civil War, and the outcome had from 200,000 to 500,000 casualties. Franco ruled the repressive dictatorship. He led tens of thousands more being executed or imprisoned. He outlawed unions in all religions except for Catholicism, as well as banning the Catalan and Basque languages. He also established a secret police. Throughout World War II, Germany controlled Greece, Hungary, Serbia, Norway, Netherlands, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Moscow, Finland, Lithuania, France, Luxembourg, Poland, Belgium, parts of the USSR. Italy had control over Ethiopia, and Germany and Italy combined ruled Italy and Albania. Spain controlled Spain itself.